This is the Daily Roundup on the EAC Cambodia channel. A very good evening to you. I'm Andrew Barnes-Roberts. Making headlines tonight. A shot in the arm for the reopening of schools as Phnom Penh's public teachers line up for booster shots. The WHO in Cambodia says the kingdom's pandemic panic is easing as it sees signs of dropping case numbers. And nailed it! A mountain biker lands the first ever front flip by a woman rider. Booster shots for public school teachers are underway. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Sport started the rollout on Monday morning as it prepares for the reopening of secondary schools, possibly as early as October. Cambodia's vaccination rate has already crossed 81% of the targeted 10 million adult population who have been fully inoculated. EAC News reporter Rayo Soko has the details.
Public school teachers in Phnom Penh gather at the National Pediatric Hospital for the third booster shots of COVID-19 vaccine. They are being administered AstraZeneca shot, with them having been fully vaccinated with either Sinopharm or Sinovac. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Sports has organized a whole week for vaccinating its personnel in the capital. The ministry is working towards a school reopening in the last quarter of the year. Part of that plan involves the vaccination of children aged between 12 and 17. Almost 75% of the 2 million target have received at least their first dose. The royal government has been lauded for its fast vaccination of both children and adults. The kingdom has already vaccinated over 66% of its total population of 16 million. Ministry of Health spokesperson Dr. Orvanden says an additional 2 million doses of Sinovac will arrive soon. These will be added to the over 25 million doses of different vaccines the kingdom has already received, both as orders and donations. Dr. Vandeen says government is hoping to achieve the 10 million adult target by the end of September. Rhea Soko, EAC News.
Cambodia's number of Delta variant cases has jumped to 1,752. 218 new cases of the variant have been confirmed by the Ministry of Health. Phnom Penh has most of the cases, with every province infected, save for Croce and Kep. Despite the climb in cases, Cambodia's WHO representative, Dr. Lee Ailan, says the overall COVID-19 situation in the kingdom is getting better due to the success of vaccinations. EAC News reporter Johnny McCune has the details.
82 new cases of the COVID-19 Delta variant were confirmed in Phnom Penh over the weekend. This is one of the biggest jumps the capital has recorded so far, taking its total to 532. Banteay Menche is home to one of the country's second highest number of the Delta cases, with 325. Oda Menche has 225. Minister of Health, Mom Bun Hen, has called on people to increase their vigilance against the Delta variant. Because of it, the capital and some provinces have continued to implement restrictions on alcohol sales, gatherings of more than 15 people, and temporarily closing high-risk businesses. But as the Delta variant continues to spread, WHO representative to Cambodia, Dr. Lee Ailan, has observed a decline in the overall number of the COVID-19 cases within the country. She says the combined efforts of implemented public health and social measures, together with the success of the government's vaccination program, have contributed to the improvement of the COVID-19 situation in the kingdom. She does stress, however, that the Delta variant is a threat, as it is at least twice as transmissible as the original virus. Johnny McCune, EAC News.
Again outpacing the number of recoveries, Cambodia's COVID-19 numbers remain relatively low. 408 new cases of COVID-19 have been reported across the kingdom in the past 24 hours. Just 324 patients have been discharged, meaning the number of active cases has climbed again to 2,274. Of the 408 new cases discovered, 90 are imported. This means only 318 were recorded as community transmissions. They take the country's total number of COVID-19 cases to 92,616. 11 deaths were reported overnight, They take the kingdom's total number of COVID-19-related fatalities to 1,892. The number of successful treatments in the country has now reached 88,443. Officials on Koh Rong have clarified that vaccination cards are not needed to visit the popular island. They were responding to social media reports claiming that locals were being asked to provide proof of vaccination on arrival. Koh Rong's city governor, Nuan Buntol, says all tourists, vaccinated or not, are welcome to visit the island, but they must adhere to the health ministry's safety measures. The governor says, following the nationwide vaccination campaign, he has seen an increase in the number of tourists visiting Koh Rong, both local and foreign. He says there have been a few incidences of ferry companies not allowing unvaccinated individuals to board, but says Koh Rong authorities will be holding a meeting with tourist boat associations to discuss future vaccination requirements. But for now, proof of vaccination is not required. Governor Nuan Buntol says increasing numbers of tourists can easily help the local economy bounce back, and he's happy to welcome everyone as long as they follow health measures against the spread of COVID-19. Tourists are being reminded to always wear a mask, maintain social distancing and proper hygiene while enjoying themselves on the island. Police believe the two decomposing bodies found by a local resident in a remote area of Phnom Penh on Friday were murdered about 6 months ago. The bodies are believed to be of a man and a woman buried just 2 meters apart. Phnom Penh Municipal Police say the man had gunshot wounds while the woman had a fractured skull. EAC News reporter Reo Soko has the latest.
The bodies were discovered on Friday evening by a farmer in Cambrieng village when he went out looking for bamboo shoots. While walking through a field, he suddenly spotted a skull. He reported the find to his local police station in Kantuok commune. When police arrived at the scene, they were shocked to find not one body but 2. Cambodia District Deputy Police Chief Chim Sawut says they are treating the deaths as homicide. Judging from the victims' clothes, it's been established they were killed about 6 months ago. Ministry of Health Forensic Specialist Dr. Nung Suvanarut is working on the case. The male victim has been estimated to be between 45 and 60 years old. The woman is believed to be between 35 and 40. Rhea Soko, EAC News.
Cambodia is to temporarily accept a total of 300 refugees from Afghanistan. They will be issued with visas on arrival and allowed to use their ID cards as travel documents. They will be exempt from current COVID-19 quarantine requirements, but will be fully tested on arrival in the kingdom. The decision was announced by Prime Minister Hun Sen at the weekend in response to a request by the Asia Foundation in Cambodia to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It is not known how long the Afghans' asylum process will take or in which country they have applied for asylum in, but the ministry says the group will be welcome to stay in Cambodia for as long as that process takes. And it is Afghan refugees that are at the top of our international wrap this Monday, the 30th of August. The Balkan state of Kosovo is also accepting Afghan refugees temporarily. This group of 111 have applied for asylum in the United States. Passengers had their temperatures checked upon arrival. They've been taken to a camp that previously housed construction workers about 40 kilometers from the capital, Pristina. More planes are expected to arrive in the coming days. Kosovo has agreed to accept a total of 2,000 Afghans in transit to the United States. Back in Kabul, the final 24 hours of scheduled evacuations are underway, with the deadline of 31st August fast approaching. While it was initially thought no further evacuation flights would be permitted beyond Tuesday, the Taliban did say this weekend that all Afghans who wished to leave the country would be allowed to do so. Despite the threat of another terrorist attack at the airport, thousands continue to gather in the hope of boarding a plane. Smoke could be seen rising from near the airport on Sunday after a US drone strike on a suspected Islamic State hideout. The group claimed responsibility for last week's twin suicide bombing at the airport that claimed at least 160 lives. The war of words over the origins of the COVID-19 virus is hotting up between the US and China. Beijing is demanding a reasonable and accurate investigation of Washington's biolab at Fort Detrick, which has a history of coronavirus research. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Jiang Yu says China has twice opened its laboratories to inspectors from the WHO, but says the global investigation should be widened to include all laboratories known to have been studying viruses related to COVID-19. Some in the US have accused China of manufacturing COVID-19, although the WHO has found no evidence to support that claim. Beijing says it has approached the WHO to request an investigation at Fort Detrick, although it has had no response. Currently, the international scientific community widely agrees that the Chinese part of the study on COVID-19 has been finished. It has praised China for taking an open, transparent, and responsible attitude. And Hurricane Ida made landfall in Louisiana as an extremely dangerous Category 4 storm. Video showed water pouring into a beach house in Grand Isle, Louisiana. The cameras stopped working shortly after this footage was captured. Ida is a massive storm and will be the toughest test yet of the billions of dollars spent on upgrading Louisiana's levees following Hurricane Katrina 16 years ago. Ida intensified faster than officials predicted, prompting evacuations along the Gulf Coast. Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards has warned it could be the state's worst direct hit since the 1850s. At least one person has already been killed. More than 1 million homes are without power. Stay with the Daily Roundup, all your sports news coming up after the break. EAC News fully supports the royal government of Cambodia's preventative and administrative measures against COVID-19. But we need you to play your part in helping bring the 20 February community transmission event to an end. Wash your hands regularly, sanitize wherever possible. Keep an eye on your body temperature. Use the Stop COVID QR code and maintain a safe social distance. But above all, please, 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 wear a mask. Only together can we beat COVID-19. EAC Cambodia's audience is growing. Our YouTube channel now has 150,000 verified subscribers. To mark the milestone, we've received the Silver Creator Award from YouTube, given to channels with over 100,000 subscribers. YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki says the award celebrates EAC Cambodia's hard work and incredible achievement. She says not only has EAC Cambodia brought a unique voice and style to the world, but has also created valuable connections and built a community along the way. The next milestone we're going for is 1 million subscribers, and we'd really like that Gold Creator Award. So if you're not already a subscriber, head to www.youtube.com/EAC Cambodia. Subscribers get all the latest breaking news and updates from Cambodia in English. We'll see you there. If it's happening and you need to know about it, you'll get it all right here. EAC News brings you updates and breaking news in English across all of EAC Cambodia's platforms and channels: YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and our website, www.eartscambodia.com. Join me, Andrew Barnes-Roberts, and the rest of the EAC News team every day on your favorite channels. EAC News, Cambodia made clear. He wanted to win it, and he did. But he probably didn't like how he won it. Red Bull's Max Verstappen won Formula One's shortest ever race on Sunday, with the rain-hit Belgian Grand Prix red-flagged after just 3 laps, the minimum number required for points to be awarded. George Russell finished second for Williams, securing his first ever appearance on a Formula One podium. 7-times world champion Lewis Hamilton was third for Mercedes, and his overall lead over Verstappen has been cut to just 3 points. No one was happy about the outcome, with driver after driver queuing up to tell the media just how disappointed they were. And yes, that includes the man who will go down in history as winning the shortest Formula One Grand Prix ever.
You know, you have to take it. The conditions were just very difficult out there. Even worse, of course, for the guys behind me, even though, my visibility wasn't that bad. But also then, basically, the conditions just became worse and worse from 3 o'clock onwards. So maybe we should start the race at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. That would be a bit better for everyone, I think.
Lewis Hamilton wasn't a happy man either, although his thoughts were with the 75,000 fans who stood in the rain for over 3 hours before the race even started.
I feel mostly for the fans, I so badly wanted it. I was looking out the window the whole time I was in my truck, hoping that the rain would ease off, and I was looking at the radar, hoping that it's going to ease off so we can open up a window for us. But it never did. And the fans just sitting out in the cold and the rain, and the kids out there that were sitting out for so many hours, and they still were so hopeful. I've been telling everyone I think they deserve their money back today, because as a sport we didn't give them a show that wasn't a race. It shouldn't be counted as a race either.
But it is going to count. Formula One says the rules were observed and the points will stand, meaning the race for the Drivers' Championship is suddenly wide open. Sunday saw Lionel Messi make his much-anticipated Ligue 1 debut for Paris Saint-Germain. He was on the bench for 66 minutes before being called on as a substitute for Neymar. The Argentina forward joined PSG from Barcelona on a 2-year contract earlier this month. It was his first outing since winning the Copa America on the 10th of July. It might have been Messi's debut, but he didn't score. It was Kylian Mbappe who netted both PSG's goals to give the capital club a 2-0 victory at Stade de Reims. It meant PSG maintained their perfect record this season to stay top of the table with 12 points. How much longer Mbappe will remain at PSG is doubtful, though. He has been linked with a move to Real Madrid, which has offered $199 million for the player. PSG have yet to confirm that deal. For the first time ever, a woman has nailed a front flip on a mountain bike at a world championship. Caroline Buchanan became the first woman to do so at the Audi 9s in Birkenfeld, Germany. The Australian is a former 2-time Olympian in BMX riding. She's also an 8-time world champion. She successfully pulled off the front flip on the jam line of the renowned course, going on to win the Women's Best Trick category. The Audi 9's 2021 kicked off last Tuesday and came to an end on Sunday. It was a big week for firsts. In addition to Buchanan's front flip, Austrian mountain biker Ilias Rousseau landed what's known as a front flip heel clicker in what is also being billed as a world first. All right, let's take a look at what the weather's going to be up to tomorrow. Most young children
And
at some
finally-
point have dreams of one day joining the army, and Prime Minister Hun Sen's 3-year-old grandson is clearly no different. The Prime Minister shared an amusing exchange with his little grandson on Sunday, who is all dressed up and ready to go to Afghanistan. Hun Pik Moni Ritset is barely 3 years old, but is already dreaming of a life in the army. He asked his famous grandfather on Facebook at the weekend if he could go off to fight in Afghanistan. The Prime Minister politely said no. He told his grandson the situation was just too dangerous, with Western powers having withdrawn. The Prime Minister told him to rather stay in Cambodia and help Grandpa against COVID-19. The 3-year-old went on to complain that during the pandemic, his mom was not allowing him to go out, to which the Prime Minister replied, "Good." Hopefully for little Set, not to mention for the rest of us, life will be getting back to some sense of normalcy pretty soon. Thank you for watching the Daily Roundup here on the EAC Cambodia channel. More breaking news and updates from our website, head to www.e-artscambodia.com. You can also search for EAC News on Telegram and at your favorite app store. More from the EAC News team in tomorrow night's Daily Roundup at 8. I'll see you then.